So what exactly are altered pentatonic scales? In short, altered pentatonic scales are 5-note scales that you derive from the major scale by altering notes of the standard major or minor pentatonics. Sometimes these pentatonic scales fit the major scale and sometimes they fit the melodic minor or the harmonic minor scale. For the Hefni Pentatonic System, we are only focused on those that fit the major scale. So now, there are two approaches to using altered pentatonics in general. The first is what I call the rock approach, where you can substitute, instead of your standard minor pentatonic or major pentatonic, you can substitute them with your altered pentatonic scales within the same scale box. The second approach is what I call chord tone soloing, and this is essentially what the Hefni Pentatonic System is about, where you use the right combinations of altered pentatonic scales. And if you know the right combinations, you will always land on chord tones no matter what. Okay, so let's get started. So what I call the rock approach to altered pentatonic scales revolves around using them in the context of your major scale. Okay, so let's take for instance C major scale, okay, on the 5th fret. Now traditionally, the pentatonic box that we know fitting within this same scale fingering box is your minor pentatonic. Right, but there are other altered pentatonic scales, so let's go through them. Okay, we have the 9/4/1 minor pentatonic. Right, we have our AEOLIAN pentatonic. Our Locrian pentatonic. Lydian pentatonic. Okay, dominant 9 pentatonic. And I like this one. This is our Javanese pentatonic. It has that exotic sound to it. We have a half diminished pentatonic. Our Mixolydian pentatonic. Minor 9th pentatonic. And this is my own what I call a Hefni dominant pentatonic. And all fitting within the major scale shape of Okay, so how do we use these pentatonic shapes when you're soloing, right? In the rock approach, essentially, we just need to, instead of just using the minor pentatonic, right? Okay, let's take an example. Let's take this lick. Okay, so there's the top part of your minor pentatonic, right? So instead of using the minor pentatonic shape within that same major scale box, let's use, say, this one. This is the 9/4/1. You get a different sound to it. Let's use this, okay, the AEOLIAN pentatonic. That's the Locrian pentatonic, and so on and so forth, right? So you can hear each one of them giving you a different sound quality, let's just say. Okay, before we proceed, I'd just like to address a few things. Okay, some of these scale patterns, right, that I've mentioned, yes, they may not have the sound of the family. Say, for instance, like your Lydian pentatonic, right? Over in this position, it sounds like this. Okay, so that does not necessarily sound like Lydian, right? Because the Lydian pentatonic scale is actually a family, and that's one of the modes within that family. The actual scale that is the name of the Lydian is over here. Containing the root, the third, right? Sharp 11, the perfect fifth, and the major 7. So, right, and the Lydian pentatonic in this position is the one of the modes. Okay, let's not get into the names so much, right? It's more about knowing the shape, the scale box that lives within the entire major scale in this position. Okay, so let's get back. What else can we do with our pentatonics, right? We know we have our sequences, right? Okay, say for instance, 3-note sequence as applied to your standard pentatonic, minor pentatonic. If we apply them to our 9/4-1 minor, for instance, it has a different sound, right? Similarly to our, that's to the Lydian, the Locrian pentatonic, right? About the AEOLIAN pentatonic, and so on and so forth, right? So what else can we do with pentatonics? We have our intervals, right? As applied to the standard minor pentatonic, let's try it to the 9/4-1. A completely different sound. To the AEOLIAN pentatonic. Right, so all the things that you can do to your standard pentatonic scale box, if you apply them to any one of these 10 altered pentatonics within the same position, right, you get completely different sounds. Again, your sequences, instead of sequences in threes, sequences in 4s, in 5s, in 6s, and so on and so forth, right? So that's how we apply it in our, I suppose, our rock context. So you don't really have to think outside of the box. Just know that instead of pegging just the minor pentatonic to the minor scale, now you have 10 other options, so making it a total of 11 within that same position. Something like that.
Hi guys, I hope you liked that video. If you want to learn more about altered pentatonics, do check out my ebook, Altered Pentatonics, The Fundamentals of the Hefni Pentatonic System. I've included a link in the description.